Hi everyone, Melissa here. In today's video, I'm going to be answering a viewer question, talking about how to deal with problems and things you don't like in your reality, things that are showing up right now that you just do not like or seem opposite of what you've been trying to manifest. And also in those situations, some affirmations, some ways to self-soothe and reassure yourself that you actually are good at this. You're doing everything right. You're not messing anything up. So this video is just going to be a pep talk, okay? And we're still giving away that free course, How to Find Your Blocks, Manifest Anything Fast. You can find the link for that in the description of this video. I also have some awesome courses, How to Manifest Your Ideal Relationship with an SP. I have a money challenge, Manifest Money Challenge. I have some affirmations for health and fitness and weight loss. I have some affirmations for manifesting communication and attention and affection. And I think there's a couple others. So if you're interested in self-study, the link for my courses will be below. And also the link to get coaching with me will be in the description of this video as well. Okay, so let's talk about first, what do you do? How do you handle, how do you navigate when circumstances are showing up in your reality and you just really don't like them? They're exactly not what you want, and they're frustrating and stressing you out, and they're really just, they're making you doubt yourself as a conscious creator. They're making you question your thoughts. They're making you question your beliefs. They're maybe triggering you. Maybe you are seeing these circumstances and thinking, whatever I'm doing isn't working because now the opposite is showing up. We have all been there. And it's going to happen. It's going to happen because here's the first point I want to make on all this is the number one thing you always want to do when you're thinking about your reality and what you want to create for it is get clear on a desire. And sometimes we don't know what we want until we see what we don't want. So those perceived opposite circumstances, those perceived problems, those perceived obstacles, those perceived limitations, whatever it is that you're experiencing right now that you don't like, that's a gift. The reason it's a gift is because it's an opportunity for you to see what you prefer instead. Or maybe, so let's think about this a different way. Instead of looking at a circumstance as bad and a problem, try to think about it as an idea. It's a possibility. You perceive it and you give it meaning, but it's actually just a way for you to see what you like and what you don't like. It's not really a problem. It's just a way for you to see your preferences. It's just a way for you to get clear on what your actual desires are. And that's why them showing up is a blessing, because it helps you to know, do I like this? Yes. Do I like this? No. Okay. Once you figure out what you prefer, then that's how you know what direction you go with your attention, with your focus, with your thoughts, with your beliefs, with your assumptions. It's all the same thing. But where we get tripped up is we see a problem or something we don't like show up in our reality, or a seemingly opposite circumstance is something we're trying to manifest. And instead of seeing it for what it is, a way to fine tune our preference, a way to choose what we prefer instead, we look at it and we think, oh my gosh, everything I'm doing isn't working. I'm not getting what I want. This is the worst thing ever. And then all of a sudden, before we know it, all our focus is on that problem, is on that unwanted circumstance. And guess what? That's just what you're going to see more of, because now you are looking at your reality through the lens of, look, I saw something I don't prefer. It's showing up. I can't get rid of it. I've been trying to get rid of it. That must mean that I'm not doing this right. That must mean that this is absolutely true. And then you're just going to see more evidence that what you don't want is true. But really, you are the one who has the power to shift what you see in your reality. So try to look at a problem you're confronted with right now, or maybe it's a problem you've had for a really long time, something you've been trying to change in your life for a really long time, or maybe it's just something that just popped up and it seems like it's in the way of what you want. That's your opportunity. You look at that and you decide, what do I want instead? Go from the problem to what would the solution be here? And I'm not saying you have to figure out how to change it. what I'm saying is, okay, let's say your perceived problem right now that you're experiencing is you don't have enough money, okay? You don't have enough money to pay a bill. Okay, instead of looking at that, letting it reinforce the belief that you're broke, making it mean that, yep, that's true. I don't have enough. I'm never going to have enough. I struggle. I live paycheck to paycheck. There's no more money. Instead of doing that, look at it and think and say, okay, what I don't prefer is broke. What I don't prefer is not enough. So in this case, what I do prefer, what I want instead is more than enough, abundant, wealthy, financially secure. And then you go there with your focus. You go there with your thoughts. You go there with your attention. So that's where the mental diet comes in. That's where the new story comes in. So instead of continuing that narrative that you just noticed, which is I'm broke, I don't have enough, you shift your focus. You notice the problem, you decide what the solution is, what your wanted desire is, what your wanted circumstances instead, and then you start focusing on that. You start telling yourself that story. You start affirming that story. You start assuming that story. And that's how easily you shift from problem to solution. When you do that, you're not going to see more problem. You're going to start seeing more solution. You're going to start seeing the preferred reality, the preferred circumstance, because you shifted in that moment. You shifted your focus. You shifted your story. You shifted the narrative. But where we get tripped up, I see this with myself and with so many clients, is, okay, I noticed I don't have enough money in this bank account. Now, here we are scrambling in the 3D. What action can I take to get more money? Well, I could get another job, or I could borrow from this person, or I could do, like we immediately go to, how do I solve this? How do I solve this? Instead of, oh, the solution would be abundance and financial security. Okay, let me place my focus there. And then that's what I'm going to start noticing in my reality. That's what's going to have to show up in my reality. So it's a shift in the way you approach the circumstance in your mind. It's a shift in the way you view it. It's a shift in the way you perceive it. It's a shift in what it actually is to you. It's not actually a problem. It's just something showing up, letting you know, do I prefer this? Do I not? And then you just navigate to, yes, I do. Okay, I'm going to keep assuming that this is what's true in my world. Do I not appreciate this? Do I not want this? Do I not, is this not what I prefer? Okay, I'm going to start assuming, thinking, telling myself, affirming, scripting, visualizing, whatever technique you enjoy, whatever technique resonates with you, feels the most like how you think. Okay, I don't prefer this, so I'm going to start assuming that the opposite is true in my experience. So I always have plenty. I have enough. I always have enough. There's always going to be enough. I'm abundant. Money flows to me from everywhere all the time. It's easy to receive money. It's easy to feel financially secure. It's easy to be financially secure. It's easy to have enough. So you see how just the subtle difference in changing the way you think about the problem is everything. And another way to say this, which is how I know I've covered this in other videos, is when you change the way you think about things, the things you think about change. This is why the circumstances don't matter. It's what you make them mean that matters. It's what you make them mean that matters. It's the truth you glean from them that matters. It's the truth you hold on to from them that matters. So stop allowing the problem to dictate your next thought and your next thought and your next thought. Instead, go immediately to, what solution would make me happier than what I'm seeing right now? What outcome would I rather have than what I'm perceiving right now? Okay, great. That's what I'm going to start affirming is true for me. That's what I'm going to start telling myself is true in my reality. That's where you change your story. That's how you stop dwelling on the problem and recreating it over and over and over again. Because the reason you've had this problem show up more than once, or the reason it's showing, you're constantly focusing on, what I don't want is true. Look, there's proof. What I don't want is true. Look, there's proof. What I don't want is true. Look, there's more proof. What I don't want is true. If you stop saying that what you don't want is true, you're going to stop seeing the proof of it. You're going to stop seeing evidence in your reality that what you don't want is true. Why? Because you're not perceiving that anymore. You're not allowing that into your experience anymore. Remember, you are the one in charge of the narrative. It's like a choose your own adventure in every moment. What am I going to make this mean? Am I going to keep dwelling and focusing and thinking about a problem? Or am I going to use this as an opportunity to figure out my preference and then start living from that end, start telling that story, start affirming that, start thinking that is my truth and possibility. That's it. That's all you have to do. You just shift your focus. There's not actually any problems. It's always just an opportunity to figure out what you want. That's it. So take it, when you think about problems that way, they feel a lot lighter and easier and not a mountain that you can't overcome. And even if what you're going through right now is super hard and it makes you really emotional, it's okay. Get those emotions out, feel those emotions, allow yourself to feel those emotions, and then focus on that the solution is here now. Focus on that the solution is your truth now. And I guarantee you, things will shift. Your perspective will shift. The circumstances will shift. Things that weren't visible to you before will become visible because you've shifted your focus to the solution is here now. What I want is true now, regardless of what I saw out here. What I saw out here was just an opportunity for me to figure out what I want. So try that little trick to navigate when you're seeing opposing circumstances, things you don't like, or when a perceived problem shows up in your reality. Try that out and see it. I know for me, it feels a lot lighter and better. And it reminds me immediately who's in charge, who's the boss in this experience, who is the one making the decisions about what's true and what's not, and who's the one determining what happens next in my world? Me. Who's the one who determines what happens next in your world? You. And that's your power. Your power is shifting the narrative. Your perception is your power. And that brings me, I'm going to talk about this viewer question here. This came from someone who purchased one of my courses. So they were asking, would love to see more videos and affirmations on soothing and encouraging yourself when you feel like you're dropping the ball or not good at this. Okay, so this goes back to the meaning that you are giving everything. So the first thing I want to say here is stop telling yourself you're dropping the ball. Stop telling yourself you're not good at it. You're good at it because you exist. You're good at it because this is how everything has always worked. You just didn't know it before. You're good at it because you've manifested everything in your world up to this point. You just didn't know you were doing it. You're good at it because it's just, you're as good at it as you are being a human, as you are breathing, as you are existing. Okay? So first things first, stop doubting your worth. Stop doubting your value. Stop doubting that you can do this. Stop doubting that you're good at it. Stop doubting that it's easy. Okay, you're good at it. You're already excellent at it. It's easy. It's so easy. You don't even realize how that you're doing it all the time. Okay, so that's the first thing. Then the second thing, to start self-soothing. I would go back to what I just was talking about when you see an opposing circumstance or a problem. You soothe yourself in the solution. You soothe yourself in the new story. You soothe yourself in the wanted truth. And from there, you're shifting your focus, which automatically starts it manifesting. The second you think something, it starts manifesting. The second you change your story about whatever it is you're trying to change, it starts manifesting. You just have to stop getting in your own way by assuming it's not manifesting, assuming you're not good at it, assuming you did something wrong, assuming that because you don't perceive it out here, it must not be working, it must not be true. Remember, your perception is everything. So the second you change your mind and say it's not working, it's not true, you're right. The second you change your mind again and say, I'm powerful, it doesn't matter what I see out here, it's always working, I always get what I want always manifests, you're right again. So the first way I would self-soothe would be in the new story. You go to your new affirmation. So let's go back to the example I used before. You are experiencing not enough money. You're feeling broke. You're feeling like you don't have enough, you're just feeling broke. Okay. So great. There's my perceived problem. My solution that I prefer, my outcome that I prefer would be I always have tons of money. Okay. I'm financially secure. I always have enough. I'm going to self-soothe in the moments where I'm noticing I don't have enough, or I'm stressing about a bill, or I can't go do something, or I can't go buy something because I don't have the physical money. I'm not seeing the money in my experience. I'm going to self-soothe in my new story. It doesn't matter what I see or think or feel right now. What I want is true. I always have enough. Money comes to me every day. It can come from absolutely anywhere, and it always does. Every time I spend money, I make twice as much back. I am a high value person, which equals high value earnings. People love giving me money. I'm constantly making money. I'm constantly receiving money. It's easy to receive money. It's easy to make money. You know, you go all in the new story. And as you do that, you're going to notice you're going to start to feel better. It feels better to think better thoughts. Why? Because you're following your preference. Because you're following your preference, and your preference already exists. That's why you can manifest anything. Everything already exists. You wouldn't be able to think of it if it didn't exist, if it wasn't possible for you. So go to your new story, self-soothe in your new story. Do that until you feel better. Excuse me. Until you feel better, and then go about your day. And if the old story creeps up, if the opposite circumstance creeps up, if the thoughts of the problem creep up, you again go back to your new story and self-soothe in your new story. For general affirmation for any problem, my go-tos are, even though I can't see it right now, everything is working in my favor. Everything's always working in my favor. It's easy to manifest what I want. I see evidence of it frequently, often, every day. My circumstances always show me my desires. Everything, I really like everything's always working in my favor, but my favorite one is whatever the problem is, whether it's a person, a perceived third party, stressing about money, health, whatever the problem is, that thing or that person has no power over me. I am the power. I give that thing life because of what meaning I give it. I give that thing life because of the story I tell about it. I give that thing or circumstance or problem life. I continue to create that narrative in my reality because I'm the writer. I'm the writer of the story. I am the one who determines what happens next. I am the power, not the problem. The problem has no power over me. The unwanted circumstance has no power over me. It's not the circumstance that has the power. It's you. It's the meaning you continue to give it, or you give it initially, right? That's why we say when you react to circumstances, that's everything. Your reaction is everything. But the beauty is, if you react in a way that supports what you don't prefer, guess what? It's always now, so you can change your reaction now. And that is where your power is. That is where your power is. So going back to how to self-soothe, when you notice the problem, start self-soothing in the solution. Start self-soothing in the solution is here now. The solution is true now. Everything is okay now. Everything is working out for me now. Everything is working in my favor now. That problem has no more power over me now. That problem doesn't exist anymore now. The solution is true, period, now. So that's my favorite tip to how to self-soothe. And then also, just remember, you can't ever mess this up. You can't ever mess it up. If you're seeing something you don't like, it doesn't mean you failed. It's just a way for you to see, I don't like that. I want something else. I don't like that either. I want something else. If you see something somebody else has, it's the same thing. It's a catalog. I want that. I wish I had that. Instead of dwelling on, I don't have it, it's a possibility for you. If they can do it, I can do it. If they can have it, I can have it. And even better, if they can be that successful, I can be even more successful. If they can be that beautiful, I can be even more beautiful. Whatever it is, if they can have that health, I can have health. So it's taking the power away from the thing that's upsetting you so much, from whatever is bothering you. You stop letting it bother you, because the solution is here now, and it's just showing you what you don't prefer. It's just showing you I do like this. I don't like this. And then it's literally directions on where to focus instead. When you see something you don't like in your reality, that's literally directions for you to know where to shift your focus. Okay, I perceive this thing I don't like. I better shift my focus to what I like is true instead. That's it. So look at a problem as directions. Look at it as an opportunity. You know, it's a gift. It's a gift because it's allowing you to figure out what you want and then go for it. Go for it with your assumptions. Go for it with your thoughts. So I hope that helped. Let me go back to the question and make sure I covered everything. Encouraging yourself in your affirmations. My favorites are everything's always working out. Even if, and especially if I can't see it right now, it's always working out in my favor. What I want is manifesting. Even if I can't see it right now, what I want is always manifesting. And thank you for showing up, problem. Now I know what I want instead. Thank you for showing up, something I don't like. Now I know what I want instead. So try to take the pressure off yourself that way. You know, nothing is impossible. Nothing is the end of the world unless you keep telling yourself it is, unless you keep perceiving it to be that way. You know, stop putting yourself in that box. Stop limiting yourself in that way. Allow yourself to imagine that something better is possible. Even if you just do that, if you just think, how can I assume better in this moment? Number one, I know if I assume better, I'm going to feel better because better thoughts equal better feelings. And number two, if I assume better, it's going to lead me in the direction of my desires, manifesting. So I know that if I do that, I always get more of what I want. There you go. So how can I assume better right now? Whatever it is you're dealing with, how can I assume better? Even if it's just a general affirmation, start there. Start there. And if you really can't figure out what you prefer and you're stuck in a problem, write out exactly what it is you're thinking that is stressing you out so much, it's bothering you so much. And then once you have it all down on paper, write out what the opposite would be to each one of those problems. And that's how you know where your new story needs to be. That's how you know where you need to shift your focus. So I intend this video helped you. I intend it gave you some relief. You know, a problem is only a problem if you keep telling yourself it's a problem. If you look at it like, oh, this is just a way for me to figure out what I like and what I don't like. Okay, cool. Now I know where to focus. It doesn't feel so daunting. It doesn't feel like such a problem anymore because you already are, you are the solution. You are the solution. The solution is always within you, and it's the power to change your story in every moment. All right. I think that's it for this video. If you need help getting out of a problem, getting yourself unstuck from focusing on a problem, I'm here. I would love to help you and work with you one-on-one for that. Like I said, I also have some awesome courses for specific subject matter if you like self-study. And you can do it. You can do it. Stop letting the problem overcome you. Stop letting all of your focus be dedicated to the problem. Start shifting your focus to the possible and true for me now. No matter if I can see it, that doesn't matter. This problem is just showing me my preferences. Okay. And the one other little trick I'll leave you with, the problem can always be part of the bridge of incidents to your manifestation unfolding if you will let it. Because your perception is your power, because your perception is boss. So if you start thinking that this problem, even though I can't see you right now, this problem is leading to me getting what I want. This problem is leading to my desired manifestation. It will totally end up that way. So try that out as well. And if you guys have any questions or ways that you self-soothe and navigate opposing circumstances or perceived problems, please put that in the comments because we love helping each other out. All right, I think that's it for this video. I intend you have an amazing rest of your week, and I'll see you in the next one.